and when I say this, I'm not like, oh, I'd fuck that guy up. If like, I'm telling you 1000%, there is absolutely nothing that would keep me out of that school. Nothing.
100%. I know.
They'd have to shoot me.
Two little girls
in the back. Shoot me in the fucking back. I'm going to get my girls.
All right. We have the shortened intro there. How you doing, Jesse?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm good. We'll get right into it, if you don't mind. I
don't mind.
So I heard the way to stop a school shooting, be with Uvalde and whatnot, was to get rid of all men because all school shooters are male.
Who suggested that?
Woman I know. It was kind of joking, obviously, but it's, obviously absurd.
I mean, it would work. I guess you'd have to juggle your priorities. It's like, school shootings would end, and then I feel like the end of the human race as well. So
so we could just end it all. There you go. Yeah. I mean, obviously they're talking about sperm banks and using semen or sperm to repopulate the world, and it would have to be some kind of Amazonian super or a Wonder Woman scenario.
Yeah, so they would have us all just bank enough semen to get them going again. But they're like, just the current state of males on Earth, let's just eradicate them.
Yeah, but then there'd be new males, and what are they going to kill the male babies?
Yeah, I don't feel like the new ones are going to be any better than the current ones. I feel like biological wiring may be the problem as opposed to conditioning.
Yeah, we're made that way. I don't know. There's definitely wires loose in some of us. There's so many people. There starts to be like mutations where shit just goes haywire. Not everybody's perfect, and obviously this dude was very disturbed to do what he did.
Yeah. I can't even make heads or tails of a thing like that, where it's like, I don't know. I mean, like for me, I have a lot of guns, but I really I don't know, for some reason, I don't have any issue with them. If they want to raise the limit, the age limit to 21, I have no issue with that even a little bit and my wife actually made a really good point about this. She's like, if you want to stop having people shoot up schools, stop selling guns to people who are in school.
And when I was 18, 19, I thought I was going to be like Al Capone and John Gotti, and I was going to be this gangster. I had this vision in my head of what I learned in movies or whatever. I mean, it's like Scarface. I honestly thought I was going to be like this kingpin at the time, which was insane. So I was an insane 18-year-old, like selling coke and mushrooms and shit, and luckily I ended up getting arrested and like stalled that whole the progress from that, and I utilized my energies elsewhere. But maybe we wait till you're like 25 where your brain is fully developed a little bit or something.
Yeah, I mean, I just think like, I don't know, 25 might be a little bit old,
maybe,
but 21 feels reasonable. It's like, because here's kind of my position on it. It's like, if you're an 18, because I'm not saying that an 18 to 21-year-old shouldn't be able to own a gun. I'm just saying you should, like the kind of 18 to 21-year-old that I am comfortable with owning a gun has a responsible person that will go in and help buy it for them. You know what I mean? Because like these loner kids that end up lighting up the schools, they don't have anybody that would buy them a gun.
Right.
They're weirdos that don't have any friends. They haven't even, in many cases, they probably haven't even spoken to their parents, and like, it's like their parents don't know what they're, oh, he went, he's in his room. Oh, he'll get friends when he goes to college. They have no idea what they're doing. Like, it's like, wow. So a kid like that comes out, they're all, hey, I want to get an assault rifle. They'll be all, yeah, I'm not buying you a fucking assault rifle, kid.
Yeah, no, not today. Well, so, in Israel, you have to get a doctor's note saying that you're mentally and physically healthy. And I don't disagree with that. But having a parent or somebody kind of vouch for you at that age. I know the problem with raising the age limit is the same as like whatever I think it had to do with alcohol, but it's 21 for alcohol. But they're saying like, if you can go to fight for your country and die for your country, you should be able to drink alcohol. You should be able to own a gun, etc.
I mean, yeah, but like, I mean, they have some kind of psych evals in the military. Like
they do.
They don't just hand an M4 to like any 18-year-old that walks in there off the street.
No, and you get a lot of training beforehand, and maybe they can assess your mental stability in the process. And if it seems like, like now I'm thinking of Full Metal Jacket, where
I was just thinking the same thing.
Whatever, the dude shot himself in the bathroom. Private File.
Yeah.
He got really fit, and he was doing really good. I don't know why he lost it on graduation day. Come on, dude. You were like, I think they were trying to show a message that the perfect soldier is insane. I think is kind of like what that's kind of like, at least I've never heard anybody say that, but I'm pretty sure that's kind of the metaphor that they were getting at. Because he was the softest, worst recruit ever. Right. And then they beat the shit out of him. They code redded him. And then all of a sudden he just snapped and suddenly he's the best soldier. And then he ends up murdering everyone. The drill sergeant. Yeah. The drill sergeant. He pushed him, but like I remember my drill sergeants were like, "You're never gonna make it out of basic training. You suck. They literally like, I hate you," to me while I'm doing push-ups. And I knew it was just like a game. And whether they hated me or not, I don't think they cared enough about me to hate me. And it pushed me to excel. And I mean, I went in soft too. And I came out ahead of my class, and at least physical fitness, I beat everyone in the whole battalion. I like to tell everyone that. That's fucking awesome. It was awesome. I got like an honor grad, and I got all these coins, and all these generals were handing me coins for, excellence and physical fitness. Challenge coins? What kind of coins? Are they challenge coins? No, they're like, I have them everywhere, but they're just like battalion coins or company coins. So whatever general or whatever company that general was ahead of, it has like AAA, which anytime, anywhere, any place, whatever. That was Charlie Group. I was in Charlie Group in AIT. I won it again. Anyways, you should also, in Israel, because I was like, everyone carries guns in Israel. Do they have mass shootings there like as much as we do? And I think the answer is no. But the people, you have to get training during, you have to go through like a training. You can't just go buy a gun, because you can just have no record here. Like, you've never got caught doing anything and you can go get a gun. But there should be a little bit more involved, I think. I agree. And I mean, this is what I think, honestly, is I think that our country and our political system in basically every category suffers from this belief system that the other side has bad intentions. And so basically, like when you're trying to fix anything, or you're trying to like, look at an issue, it's like, okay, well, maybe we could change this. I feel like we look at everything the way that you would negotiate a contract. Like, so obviously, you run a business, you get a draft contract, right? And you look at it and then you're like, okay, so how would my worst enemy use this language against me? And so it's like, so that's the way that you kind of negotiate contracts. You're like, look, what this actually says right here is if we hit this threshold, you could just choose not to pay us. And then they're like, oh, okay. And, on the other side, they're not planning on doing that. It's just like, look, that's what this says. Mm-hmm. I feel like when we try to problem solve in the country, it's the exact same thing. So like, as an example, we go, so like when you were talking about the psych evals, and I've obviously considered that and as a completely reasonable way forward also. But then the other part of me is like, well, who's going to decide what medical person clears them? And are there going to be clear guidelines? Because in California, they could just stick a bunch of doctors in there that are like, nope, you're not medically cleared. It's like, why? They're all, you're crazy. You're a man. You just can't own a gun in California. So it's like, that's why I think like raising the age to 21, it's like they pass all these bills with all of these provisions, all of these things, this huge sweeping bill that's never going to get through. And it's like, how about you dumb it down so something actually gets done and just raise the age to 21? Like, how about, like, that's it. Something super simple. Something. Yeah. That's it. Raise it to 21. Like Parkland, 18 years old.
this guy, 18 years old.
Wow.
The guy in Buffalo, 18 years old.
Wow.
Like, I don't know. I mean, to me, would your solution have solved for any of these things that we're trying to solve for? And raise it to 21 solves those three.
Boom. At least it raised it to 19, at least 1 year older of maturity. But 21 sounds like that's just a common age where we start saying you're
totally
legal to drink and whatever.
Like Rittenhouse, and obviously, in his situation, who knows what would have happened that night if he wasn't carrying, like if they would have singled him out to attack him in the first place.
Yeah.
But given that they did single him out, it's lucky that he had his gun.
Yes.
Because they would have beat him within an inch of his life, if not killed him. But when you look at him, he's a baby, dude. Yeah. That's what 18 looks like. They're fucking babies.
I know. Yeah, it's weird. I have a 21-year-old daughter, and she looks like a baby. And, it's like, wait a minute, you're supposed to, you could be like a supermodel for Victoria's Secret, but she's my baby. But that's different. But Rittenhouse does, it's very similar, like, chubby cheeks and just a little doughy. He hadn't quite fully formed in his body yet. I think somebody maybe handed him a gun. There was some controversy on how he got that, like his mom or something.
It was his friend's dad bought it for him and held it for him. So he had it when he was 17, and the guy kept it in a safe, at his place or whatnot. But like,
that is,
it's one of those things. Like it's in all of these things. All of these things track back to the fact that you can't trust anything. Like you can't trust anything. Like there's, if everyone's sources of information are tainted one direction or the other, then there's no way to make heads or tails of any issues or negotiate or anything. Cause you're just like, you're looking at two completely different, same incident, but the two sides that are trying to negotiate with each other. I mean, like everyone on the left honestly believed that Kyle Rittenhouse was a white supremacist. They believed
and he killed. Yeah.
They all thought the victims were black. They thought that he went in there and shot a bunch of Black Lives Matter protesters.
Right.
And it was a white guy who had gotten out of prison for being a word that YouTube doesn't like, that diddles kids, except the most extreme version of it.
Yeah.
The guy he's a child predator. He's white. Yeah. He attacked him. No one was black. It's like, how do they even get away with that? How do you paint him as a white supremacist?
They just, because he was at a Black Lives Matter rally or protest, and they don't mention the color of the victims. They just, he shot 3 Black Lives rally members or whatever, and then you would just assume that they were black. But they were there. I feel like those people were there, like looting and setting fire to whatever. 100%. So they have video of, not to completely derail this conversation, but my theory, honest to God, because I watched a fair amount of that trial, because that was like, after I realized, I didn't really pay that close attention to it when it happened, but then once the trial was happening and I watched all of the footage, and I knew exactly what happened. I knew there was not one bit of that incident that I didn't understand, Right. And I will say, like, the second 2 guys that got clipped, it's possible. Well, the one guy that got, his arm shot, and the other one, and the one that got his arm shot, maybe not so much, but like, it's possible that the guy who got killed, the second guy, he might not have been a bad actor. Like, he might have really thought that he was going after an active shooter. Like, it's possible that that's what he thought, because they were like, that guy just shot a guy and he's running down, and he chases him down. These people don't understand, like this, like they're living online. They've never faced down a hot firearm. It's like, dude, the guy is carrying they just said that he shot a guy, and you're going to run up on him with a skateboard. He's going to smoke you. Like, he's going to they're playing a video game or some shit.
Exactly. But I think when the DA looked at the details of this case, and they looked at all of it, they looked at the same stuff as us. I think that they were like, there is no fucking way I'm putting this kid in jail for life. I think they threw that case. I think that the way that DA approached that case was to intentionally lose and expose the reality of the case to the public. Because first of all, why was it all publicized? Why was it on TV? And there were times, like, the guy's closing argument, he was like, so the guy just did 12 years in prison. Like, So there are 10 episodes of him screaming the N-word on video. So there's a video of him lighting a dumpster on fire and then trying to light a gas station on fire. Does that mean, and I'm like, why would you say that if you're trying to win the case?
I like it. And that's like a DA, it's like kind of taking the law into his own hands and taking advantage of his position. And I feel like if someone's truly innocent and a DA knows it and the police know it, like, throw the case. They couldn't
drop the case without cities burning down. That's what I think. I think their dilemma was like, if we just say it's self-defense, given what the media said about this, they're going to burn our city down again. Because like, if you really watch the video of what Kenosha looked like, it was insane. When I saw it, I was like, I had no idea that there was this level of destruction and carnage. The whole city was on fire. It's insane.
That's why he was supposedly going there to kind of protect one of the car dealerships and just kind of patrol. And so that whole the way the media twists everything is insane. Like the way that not too long after that, some guy runs his car into a parade and kills a bunch of people, and there's like a rogue car kills a bunch of people in a parade, and it's just like, the car killed the people. They don't care. It's like all agenda driven, because then with Kyle, they were like, this white supremacist killed a bunch of people at a Black Lives rally. The way they word it, they know what they're doing, and I think it's all to foment like dissent, or not, like, hey, want us to fight amongst ourselves so that we don't pay attention to what they're doing. Essentially.
I 100% agree with that. I think the entire concept now of Democrat versus Republican is a complete facade for that exact reason. They've been doing it for hundreds, if not thousands of years. You split the population to fight against each other so they don't focus there. Because if the group's united, then they don't have power anymore. Like the power comes from the lack of unity among the population. And so it's like, and I basically came to this realization, because that's exactly what I would do if I was them. But also, if you look at like, okay, so we had Trump, throw Trump out actually, because he's kind of like an anomaly. But like, you got Obama, you've got Bush, you've got Clinton, you got other Bush, you got Reagan, you got Jimmy Carter. And then Jimmy Carter's kind of an anomaly in the other guys. Like, out of all of those years, 4 to 8 years out of all those guys, what changed structurally in terms of how we approach military, how we approach pharmaceuticals and medical and all that stuff, how we approach insurance, how we approach finance and Wall Street? Nothing. Nothing changed at all. So they give you like these fringe things to grab a hold of. And it's like, oh, what, you don't think a woman should have the choice to have an abortion? And they're like, it's my body, my choice. And they're all, oh, well, it's a baby. And then they're like, oh, what's another one? They're all here, racism. Go here. It's like throwing meat to like a group of dogs. And none of this shit means anything. Like, there's like racism. So what there's a way to fucking solve that problem that like one party is going to have and the other one does. It's fucking ridiculous. What party's going to solve racism? It's like, well, we care about racism and they don't. You're like, who says they don't fucking care? It's just bullshit to make it seem like there's a difference between the two parties, and there isn't. Yeah, it's so absurd. I mean, they're like, ending slavery is one thing. You can quantify that, but ending racism is something like people have in their minds, and it might just be this tiny little preference, not even like racist in the sense like I hate you. It's just like I would prefer to hang out with people that I identify with more because I just do. I don't know why. And I've been in jail, I've been in the army, and in both instances, everybody like self-segregates for whatever reason, and there's intermingling amongst the groups as we see fit, but over like it just birds of a feather flock together. Are birds racist? Like, what the fuck? Yeah. They don't hate each other. My theory on that, and you know what though, honestly, at least partially what my theory is like in military and prison, the two things that those have the environments have in common is they're both harsh environments where there's like a threat of violence around. And so like, the instinct that all of us have to tribe up is an evolutionary one from us to protect ourselves against violent threats. And so you go throw somebody in jail and they need to figure out who their team is fast. And there's one way to look, and it's like, okay, I guess those guys are my squad, and then like, and the same thing in military also, but then like also, dude, honestly, like in high school, like everybody plays on the same basketball team, but then at the lunch table, all the brothers sit together and like all the white dudes sit, they're friends. Like we're
still friends. Yeah, we're still friends.
Like, sit over here and they sit over there, and it's like, it would like be, at least when I was in high school, like it would have been like bizarre for me to just go sit, even though I'm friends with all of them. Like it would be bizarre for me to go sit there. I mean, no one would have like cared. Otherwise, it would just be like, what's he doing over there?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What's this white boy doing over here?
Yeah.
But he's cool. And like, it was always cool.
Boy, but like, you sit over there, right?
Yeah. That's how, I mean, you got M&Ms and I the rapper. I grew up in middle Georgia, and it was like 50% black and 50% white. And again, yeah, we kind of like there was even the towns were like kind of segregated on the other side of the railroad tracks, just like in the stereotypes, literally. It's called Tumorsville, which is a strange name to name a black part of town, like it was a tumor or something. But I actually would go over there and I'd play basketball with them, and we'd like smoke cigarettes and hang out and talk shit. And then every now and then you get in a fight. And then after you get in a fight, you're like, now you're friends more than you were. But like just the constant cries for racism. It's like, for me, who's grew up in a part of the country where it's like very racially mixed, I'm like, you guys must have never really been around black people to think that there's all this like so-called racism, because we get along, we got along fine.
I really believe that an enormous amount of the activist side of this, like the really passionate, there's racism, comes from people where if you were like, hey, how many black friends do you have?
Exactly.
And then they would be like, well, and they might be able to rattle off someone who's also an activist that they've connected over the activism. But if you're like, what do you know about, like, really, like, what do you know about them? Like, they don't have, because like to people, because same with me. Like some of my really, really like closest friends are black, and I never, like everyone, like I don't even think about it. And then every once in a while, they'll say something. I'm like, dude, that's right. That's fucking weird, man. You're black. You have to deal with that shit.
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't even cross my mind. Because like.
Yeah, and I know like there is a weird like subversive racism. It's usually like old, like super old white dudes maybe, and they're like, they'll do this weird look. They'll like give them a weird look or stare too long or but that's like the level of racism I think that is like exists. And then the black guy, they feel that like, the fuck are you looking at, psycho? Like, let me like, and that exists, but it's also not it's not violent. It's just like they're still stuck in they're stuck in the past, and like we've evolved, but we're not there. Nobody acknowledges the evolution of American society and how we deal with racial relationships and shit.
I do think about that a lot though. Like, being black in America, it's like, because I can pick up on when I like new people that I meet. I can always tell what people are thinking, and a very, 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 very large percentage of black people that I meet, I can tell that in their mind there's like just this small veil where they're looking and they're like, is this dude a racist? Like, and they just like it takes 10 seconds to get through it where they're like, okay, he's cool. But like, it's just like it's like a defense mechanism that is on autopilot for them, where they're just like, let me just make sure that I'm not dealing with some, racist. Because I mean, think about how like emotionally impactful that would be if you dealt with like 1 to 2 real incidents of like just overt racism in your direction when you were younger. People following you around stores, shit like that.
Right. Yeah.
Fuck these people, man.
Yes.
And that would just like burn into your psyche to where,
for the rest of your life, you'd be a little suspicious. And yes, and it's like, I heard you talking about, it's not going to lick itself, the drag show. and the sexual instance, like not encounters, but when you were first exposed to like sex when you were a kid, you were talking about how you woke up in a hotel and your parents were watching this movie and there was like that's I guess that was like a rape or a sex scene of gay guys.
You've never seen The Accused with Jodie Foster?
No.
It's actually a really good movie. It's about like a woman who says that she was gang raped in this bar, and they they convict the guys who did it, but then it's like ultimately going after the rest of the room that were like cheering them all on. And at the end, you get the very end, you get this is what actually happened, and it is the gnarliest rape scene ever, dude. Like, and I remember it. I fucking can tell you every single second of that scene because I was 8. Watching it, pretending like I was asleep in a hotel room, just like.
Exactly.
Like if you watch that movie, fucking imagine watching that when you're 8 years old, dude. You'll just be like, whoa, dude.
I feel like I was 8 and I somehow was in the room because we were watching the Revenge of the Nerds. Like I think my parents were watching it or something. And at the very end, there's like a lot of sex scenes, but at the end, the nerd gets the girl and he's like whatever. And that's very clear in my mind, like the color of the room and his face expression.
Yeah, they're in the moon, like it's like the water moon. Yeah.
Yep. So
are all nerds as good as you?'s like, yeah, it's all jocks think about his sports and all nerds think about his sex. That is
damn, dude. That's a little bit, that's better than I remember it. But my dad took me to the movie theater sometime around that age. I might have been like 13, and I saw The Crying Game. Did you ever see that?
I know what the reveal is, but I've never seen it.
Yeah, he like falls in love with the girl, but she ends up being trans, and then he ends up kind of just going. I think he ends up like staying with her, which to each his anal.
Yeah. Wow, what a mind fuck that would be. Like, it's like if I fell for Gabrielle like I did, and then fucking 3 months in, she's like, I know we've been taking it slow, but by the way, I have a dick. Wait, really? How'd I miss that?
Oh my God. Yeah, I probably have to deuce out, but I would feel bad.
Yeah, that would be a tough call. I mean, if she looked exactly the same as Gabrielle, just plus a dick, that's a tough call.
I know, right? Yeah. Hey.
Yeah, I mean, like
you never know.
Yeah. Speaking of that, did you see the thing that I haven't done a video about this yet, but I'm definitely going to today probably. Did you see the Postmates commercial called the Bottom Menu?
No.
Dude,
tell me.
Here's the thing, like this stuff for me, like if we're talking about kind of healing society, and I'm going to try to word this in a way where I'm not going to make myself sound like a bad person because I'm not that. It's like, to me, the same way that I described how I interact with my black friends, like I never even think, like I don't good person that I like having it out with, that we laugh together, cool. Like common interest, cool. Like, that's what I'm looking at. And gay, straight, same. Mm-hmm. Like same exact. I don't care. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't care. Trans even. I don't care.
Agreed.
The stuff that turns me into where I start feeling a kind of way where I'm like, man, I've actually never felt like this before, where like I actually have negative feelings in that direction, is like that drag show. Like the drag show with a bunch of children, and they're having them stick dollars down their pants and stuff. And I'm like, dude, okay, so like, do you think that has, and I'll tell you about the Postmates thing. So the Postmates thing, they did this commercial called the Bottom Menu, okay? Postmates is like Uber Eats. It's food delivery. Mm-hmm. The Bottom Menu is a commercial they did where they talked about specific foods that they recommend for bottoms, so that when they get, we're allowed to say whatever on the podcast?
Yeah, go ahead.
Ass fucked in the ass. Like they've eaten food that will make that as clean a process as possible. They're like going through, they're talking about like the different foods and how they break down in your body and shit. And it's specifically so you can have a clean anal sex process. I literally looked at this and I was like, this shit is just fucking deviancy. Like, this is a would it be any different if they were like, oh, hey, like, are you a porn star, girl that likes getting fucked up your ass? Well, if you are, here's the special menu that we suggest that you eat before a nice hard session of just getting pounded out up your ass.
Right.
Be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, whether it's gay or straight.
Yeah. Like, it's just disgusting deviancy shit. You think I want to think about that when I'm ordering fucking food? That's your Pride Month. That's your contribution to Pride Month. It's like, so again, it's like, and I was saying this the other day. It's like, look, if my next door, if we had new neighbors, they move in and it's a dude and some other guy, and they're like, yeah, we're roommates. And then a week later, it's actually my husband. And I'd be like, cool, we're barbecuing on Saturday. You guys want to come over?
Totally.
Next door neighbor, like, oh, my wife, she actually was born a dude. She's trans. I'd be like, awesome. You guys let me actually ask you a handful of questions. Just make sure that you're like a normal person. Do you want to babysit my kid? I don't care. You're not going to take him to a fucking drag show, right? No.
Right.
What? Okay, cool. Straight person moves across the street and is a person who shares the Postmates thing on their Instagram and I'm like, let me just ask you, so you want to babysit our kids? Let me ask you a question. How many genders are there? Well, there's a number of fucking genders. Okay. Fuck you. You can't watch my kid. Don't come anywhere near us. Like,
exactly.
It's not about lifestyle. It's about this stupid fucking ignore reality. And also this like promotion of this deviant, weird shit. Like, how is it gay pride to have kids sticking money down the pants of a fucking grown man?
Wow.
Dressed like a girl. How is that gay pride?
Yeah. Drag your kids to pride.
It's not going to lick itself. You have to, like I said in the video, that's a neon light. Like you have to plug that in.
Right.
Like that's not plugged in overnight. They unplug that every night when they close. So like they go in there, they're opening a restaurant. They're all, oh, we're having kids in. They're all, hey, should we plug in the neon light that says, that's a reference to fucking oral sex? They're like, well, of course. You should plug that in. Why would we not? It's like, I don't know. You're going to have a bunch of 6-year-olds here. They're all, well, they need to learn about oral sex sometime, right? May as well be grown men dressed as chicks with G-strings open for their dollars. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, there should be like I don't know what the proper age to introduce that type of thing is, but I think it's not 6. And I guess it should be a parental thing, but or with, if you find out about like sex and stuff with your friends, like the porn mags or pornos or something, when you feel like you're of the right age, I think to be, you start being curious about it. Exactly. So you like look for it.
You seek it out versus your parents bringing you to a place. And like that's the thing is I saw this thing. I saw them, they were going to introduce legislation that made it illegal for kids to go to drag shows. And I'm like, okay, guys, like, I think legislation might be a bit much. I think that we could just go with the public shaming. And we're like, hey, you're a fucking weirdo, deviant parent. The thing is that just emboldens them. Like, it really does. It's like the more that you say, like, why the fuck would you bring your kid to a thing like that? They're like, I'm sorry, what did you say, bigot? Right. And they're like, let's double down. Let's have them naked at the next one because tolerance. And you're like,
right.
All right, I'll tell you what, let's compare our kids at age 28. Let's see what your fucking kid is doing, and let's see what mine is doing, and let's see which is the right. You go and be a single mom, because you don't need a man. You work, do whatever you're going to do, or live off the government. Do whatever the fuck you're going to do. Bring your kid to fucking pride, drag shows when they're 6, 7. Tell them they can be whatever gender they want. Tell them that the world owes them a favor. Tell them they don't need to be disciplined. They don't need to worry about anything. Like, it's all, the world needs to be whatever they want them to be. And then let's see if our fucking kids is on psych meds when they're 28 and is unemployed. Let's see
because the world's not bending to their will or whatever. And they should be teaching like success principles about like how to achieve your dreams. Everything is so focused on race and sex and these things that we don't really have that much control over. We can but what we do have control over that you can be taught, you should be exposed to these principles of achievement, not fucking your sexuality. Like the focus on that is just, I don't think it's healthy. I think it's just a distraction. Again, the media, the CIA, it's like mental warfare.
Yep. And I can't get myself to a place where I believe it's coincidence that all of the big agenda issues that are being driven on that side lead to less people, like, less people, less reproduction, abortion all the way up to fucking 9 months,
Yeah.
And look at, hey guys, look, this is a much better way to live. You're like, well, I mean, if my daughter ends up being a lesbian, like, and it is what it is, like, I'm going to love her the same, but like, if she ends up with a girl, can they have kids? They're like, well, of course not. I'm like, is that important to you? They're all, it's not important to me. I'm like, well, what if it's important to her and she's not actually a lesbian and you've just implanted all this weird shit in her mind to where she goes into that phase of life thinking that that's a cooler way to experience these things. It's like,
yeah, I'm going to be rewarded if I go down this path, whereas I'm going to be, not really as cool as if I'm just a straight white male or female.
I really like to tell myself that if I would have been growing up in California, just like right where I was, and I was a 16-year-old at this point, that regardless of all this shit, there is no fucking way that I would have bought into this shit. I would have still been an athlete that was like, okay, there's more of them, but they're fucking weirdos over there.
Yeah.
I really don't think that I don't think there's enough propaganda in the world to get me to be like trying to figure out a way where I can fucking put a letter on what my sexuality is. I'd be like, no, I think I'm still going to try to fuck cheerleaders,
Yeah. I was watching, I kind of like the Kardashians. Sorry. I'm inspired by the hustle and the growth and everything. Yeah, they're fucking killing it. And Kim was telling a story about how she was walking through the garage one day. The mom was out of town, Chris, and so Kim's walking through the garage and she finds Bruce dressed up in like full regalia, heels, wig, dress.
This is before.
Yeah, this was like Kim was like 26 and she's like 40 now. So
and Kim caught him like that.
Kim caught him like that, and Caitlin or Bruce said, "Don't tell Chris. She will not know how to like take this."
Basically, talk about a shock to the system that you won't ever forget.
Yeah, and then I thought to I never tried on my mom's heels. I never tried on a dress, and I never wanted to. You know what I mean? So
gender dysphoria is a real thing. Like some people really have it.
Yeah, and I believe that.
That's why there isn't an automatic association with being trans and also being fucking crazy and thinking there are 300 genders. Did you watch, dude, Bruce Jenner, or I'm sorry, Caitlyn Jenner, whatever, is totally normal. Like I watched her playing golf with with the Nelk boys. She's
nice.
Normal. She's just trans.
I like her.
The weirdest things about it is and then also Joe Rogan just had that Navy SEAL on that the Navy SEAL that is trans now.
Oh, no way. No, I need to listen to that.
And she's super fucking smart. It's just basically, they're like the exact same person. It's just, they have this bug in them where they're like, I don't know what it is. It's like, I mean, it's a really fucking bizarre condition, to be honest.
Yeah, no, that would be like super harsh to be trapped in a body that you felt you weren't supposed to be in. And I can't identify, but I could kind of imagine how fucked up that would be. Yeah. And, and I can sympathize. I interviewed Blair White. She's awesome. She's awesome. There's a dude in our town here, Austin, I think his name is. I forget his name actually, but
you're in Austin?
No, his name is Austin. I'm in Colorado. Yeah, you're in Austin.
Yeah.
Did you come? Where did you move? Did you move from California?
I fled California.
What part did you live in?
We lived in the Bay Area before we moved out here, but we got married in San Diego. We lived in San Diego for 6 years.
Okay, because I lived in Orange County. I went to high school there and got arrested there a few times as a kid. And
Orange County is awesome.
Yeah, and I played basketball there, in high school and whatnot. And then when you said you played basketball, I think we probably had
I didn't play basketball.
Oh, you didn't play basketball? No, you were just talking shit? Yeah, I thought you said when you liked the Jordans. I thought there was
I like Jordans.
Yeah.
I like Jordans. No, I played soccer, baseball, I basically played everything except. Actually, I didn't play football either. I played soccer, baseball, tennis,
Tennis.
swam.
I played tennis.
Then later, I did some I fought trained to fight and all that stuff. But that was actually after high school though.
Yeah, me too.
Neither here nor there. But but yeah. So you played hoops in Orange County.
Yeah, and I was horrible, but I made the team a couple of times. I ended up getting arrested my junior year, so I never played again. And then I moved to Georgia my senior year, back something like in middle Georgia, and I was going to Peach County High School, and the whole team, they were above 6 foot tall, like 6'6", black, athletic. There was one white dude, and he was like 6'3", Drew, and I was like, I'm not even gonna try. Plus, I used to play so much that I'd to the point where I broke my ankles because I feel like my mind was stronger than my body, and I would just keep playing. I'd roll my ankle, get back up, play more, roll it again, make it worse. It's just I get this when I'm into something, I just go I'm addicted. It's like I'm a junkie and basketball was one of those things. Right now it's chess. I like chess.
Oh, really?
I play
Dude,
so much.
I suck at fucking chess, man. I've been playing it a lot, but I play online and it's fun.
Yeah, me too.
I know basic strategy enough to where I can look like I kind of know what I'm doing, but I'm not good,
Yeah. But it's just but now I'll play it to the point where I'm I can't even see straight anymore, and my brain will be so tired, and I'll lose a bunch of games in a row, and I'm like, okay, I got to stop, or I'm going to ruin my score and shit, because you have a ranking.
Connecting with my business partner Ed Byers. He's the Master Chief from SEAL Team 6, and that's one of the ways that I learned how poor I actually was at chess. We didn't even play. We just started. It was right when I really got into it, and I was in DC with him, and we were talking chess, and I just asked him a couple methodology questions, and his answers told me, I'm like, oh, I'm not good at chess at all. I have a 0% chance of beating him just based on how he answered that fucking question. He's one of these guys 8 moves ahead.
Oh yeah, I have my days. I think it's kind of like every dog has its day. You can win a game on any given Sunday. On days where I'm on, I will murder everybody. But there's days where I'm just it's something like a mental fog or whatever, and it's just fuck, how did I not see that move? And Michael Malice says it's like the stupidest game in the world, which I think he just doesn't play.
Chesses?
Yeah, I feel like he's just being. What are you drinking there?
An energy shot.
No, okay. No, if you want to promote anything, but I think he's such an intellectual. I think it's something where if he can't, if he's lost a game, it would crush his ego, and he has such a huge ego, he can't stand to lose something.
That's funny. That's hilarious. No, promoting wise, dude, I've been having these companies reach out to me that just send me product. I got this revolver watch. This thing is sick, dude. It's they do watches that are designed after revolvers, so they design
the watch. A gun.
Yeah, so it's so the watch face looks like a 6-shooter revolver. It's it's waterproof down to 1,000 meters or some shit like that.
You sent me a text the other day, and you were super proud of it. I was like,
I love it, dude. Yeah. I've got this other because the companies hit me up all the time, but I'm not gonna have them send me gear unless I think it's gonna be something I would put my name on. And these, I was like, oh yeah, I'll do that for sure. I've got this ring coming. This guy makes these incredible rings, dude. They're it might be too much for me to actually wear because they're these huge, beefy, bikers will fucking love them, dude. I'll see if I can pull it off. It's my whole thing's gonna be one of those Dias de los Muertos skulls.
Dia de los Muertos. Yeah, Day of the Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but you're getting people reaching out to you. Your channel's growing. You got Jesse on Fire, Jesse on Everything, Into the Fire with Gabriella. Is it Gabriella?
Gabrielle.
Yeah. No A. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought about
Into the Fire with Into the Fire with Gabby and Jesse. I have to kind of be specific with that because when you first, it's W/, so Into the Fire W/ Gabi, Gabi. They'll find it, just because like I forgot, like I hadn't launched a new channel in about probably, I don't know, 18 to 20 months or something like that. And I forgot, like when you launch a new channel, you're
crickets.
You fucking don't exist. And I mean, I was like, we got to, let me see. We launched it a couple days ago. We're at about 1,400. Yeah, about 1,400 subscribers.
Damn, already?
Yeah, but that's 30. We're just pushing people from Jesse on Fire, and then she's got 30,000 followers on Instagram too. So
nice.
But yeah, if we didn't have those channels, I'd put it up there, it'd be like 3 views.
Right. No, yeah. When I do my lives, I'm like, why am I doing this? I actually almost, like last week, we didn't release an episode because the guy that I had planned, he had like these technical difficulties, and I was just like, what am I doing? I'm like spinning my wheels. Like I've been doing this podcast for 4 years, and then I had another one before that, and so like on and off for like 10 years doing podcasts and stuff, and the numbers don't kind of add up to the effort, but I do it because it's like a passion project. I get to talk to badass motherfuckers like yourself.
Dude, it's the best.
Yeah, I know. So
it's really, really, really hard to build a channel that is long form content. I think of all the like, kind of ways that people create and post content that's really, really common, I think the long form podcast is the hardest one to build, just because people don't click on things that are an hour and 30 minutes unless they know what it is. And it's like, I don't know. I mean, like, and here's the other thing I was going to say, like, I maybe have the people that you have on post a clip of their podcast on their channel, which I would of course do.
Okay.
But
thank you.
But even that, like I did an interview with Sammy the Bull, and this is when I first started Jesse on Everything.
Wow.
And
cool.
And they were like, so what do you want us to do with it? And like, I could have either taken the interview myself and put it on my channel, or had him post it on his channel. Wow. And I had him post it on his channel. And in hindsight, like, I don't know, for some reason, I always thought, like, if you get on other people's channel, that is going to be a thing that drives a bunch of traffic to you for some reason. And it's like, I mean, I don't know. I think I got more legs out of the clips that I took from it and put them on my own channel, but I don't know, man. It's like, it's all a fucking crapshoot, dude. It's like,
isn't it?
Yeah.
It's so crazy. I interviewed Brandon Moreno 2 weeks ago. He's fighting for the championship again. He just had it, and everyone loves him. Whatever we talked about, like, so he was like, I don't like Chael Sonnen, and he
said that?
Yeah.
What did he say?
He said Chael was talking shit about him after the last Figueiredo fight, and he, and nobody likes when somebody he ended up kind of backtracking a little bit, but he didn't like that. And there was a couple of we talked about PEDs. I thought it was a pretty good conversation that might get some traction. 25 views.
Yeah, but what it is like, so for that one, what you should do is you should go and find the most grabby kind of, like, call it 6-minute segments, like,
yes,
get where he talks shit about Chael.
Yes.
Clip that, post that itself.
Yeah.
Super fucking clickbait title.
Yes.
Brendan Moreno says Chael, like, whatever he said, like but like, I'm being serious. Like, because like what I did in the MMA, in the combat sports space, is fucking impossible. Like, there's no one who's just some asshole who has a room and a camera, no history in the fucking MMA space, and gets to where I did in 2 years. Like, the shit doesn't happen. And when I tell people, like, this is how you do it, like, I'm not saying it from, like, I'm guessing. I'm telling you, this is exactly what you knew.
I'm going to do what you just said. I promise.
Fucking shameless about clickbait. Like, you need,
okay.
You can't have even one fucking inkling of, like, that's a little bit clickbaity. As long as you're not lying about what's in there,
right,
make it the most sensational shit ever. I mean, that's what drives the entire media apparatus, all of it. That's why people are like, oh my God, they said that fucking, Bill Clinton did blah, 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 blah. And I get caught up in that too. And then I realize I'm like, well, I mean, you took a clip where, like Markel said blah, blah, blah. And you said Markel declares war against the UFC, just to make it as grabby as possible. But like for Moreno, anytime any of these guys talk shit, especially if they talk shit about someone who's big, think of the most sensational way to frame it, and then boom, post it. And then also, I don't know. I'm a big believer in like the thumbnail having one big bold statement, and then like, and then I'm kind of up in the air now about whether I should put my picture on my thumbnails. Like, cause I did that for the new channel because I want people to see and know it's us, like me and Gabrielle. Mm-hmm. But I'm thinking about doing it for Jesse on Fire now too. I don't know.
Yeah, it is. We've been playing around with the different thumbnails, and I'm glad thank you so much for that advice. I was actually going to ask you a couple of things, like how you come up with your topics.
Oh my God. Oh, well, the topics. So the topics, like I have a pretty good feel for what videos will perform. Right. And then, so it's basically like the process is like this. It's like, I know what videos will perform well. But it has everything to do. It has nothing to do really with what I'm going to talk about, because I can make anything sound halfway interesting.
Yes.
It's all about how I can frame the story. Like that's it. That's all it is. It's like, how can I take, like, there's only a handful of guys that you can make the video about and it perform well. Like literally, like if you go through, you'll look, you're like, Jesus, he does every single video on about 15 guys. Every single one. Like there's like, because if I do it on these other guys, like no one will click.
No clicks, right?
No one will click on it. So like, it's like, so like as
whoever's hot at the time, I imagine. Yeah, and like Joe Rogan is obviously anytime it's Joe Rogan.
Rogan's good. Schaub is good. Like John Jones, pretty good. John Jones is good. Nate Diaz, George Masvidal, Connor, Colby. Colby's good.
Yeah.
Francis depending on what it is. But I mean, I've basically done no videos about the UFC that's coming up on tonight because I know none of them will perform. It's like, I mean, I could do like a preview video or whatnot, but like, and I actually really do need to start doing that because I've gone so hard on just like the sensational stories I know will perform because I was growing the channel, that now it's just almost not even my brand to talk about the fights. And I fucking love talking about the fights.
Dude, well, and I don't want to talk too much about them because it's coming on tonight and this is coming out on Monday, but Yuri, whatever his name is a freak. He looks
a badass.
He looks so like cool. Like his style is very fun. But it's possible that Glover could beat him. Just grab him and muscle him. I don't know.
Have you actually looked at his fucking record? Like,
no.
Look at this, dude. This is fucking bananas. So, hang on. I think I can share my screen, right?
Yeah. If you have that button down there,
I do. Hang on. So, this is unreal. Okay, so, boom, 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 boom. All right. So check this out. Look at this guy's. Look at his record.
Whoa!
First round knockout. Third round knockout. First round knockout. Decision. First round knockout. Oh wait, this is a loss. But first round knockout. 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 I mean,
what he did to Dominic Reyes was, and Dominic almost beat John. I thought Dominic beat John Jones in their fight, and maybe we could debate about that. But when he fucking did that to Dominic Reyes, I was like, oh, fuck, this guy's for real.
He is the real deal, man. And like but yeah, when I looked at his record, I was like, holy shit. But there is such an enormous gap in the grappling though. Like if Glover can get inside of the many shots that will put him to sleep if he gets caught with him and can just grab a hold of him. He's gonna like Glover will win. I mean, it's just like it's that simple. Like Glover's grappling is so superior to his.
But he has to watch out for that knee.
Yeah. Oh, he needs to watch out for the elbows, punches, and kicks. He's he's really careful. Like betting on it to end in the first round. Actually, what I would say is betting on it to go past the second round, I believe, is certainly an underdog, like a big one.
Yeah, I could see that. I'm excited for Joanna and Zhang.
Me too.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Me too. I think Joanna's going to win.
I want her to win because I want a potential trilogy because that was such a good fight. And I love Joanna. She's so fun.
You want a trilogy between those two.
So those two, but also I want Joanna to fight Rose again because I'm like, how did she lose to Rose? I mean, Rose is great. I'm sorry. We love her. I know, like badly.
Dude,
she got
Rose is vicious, man.
But Joanna's so fast. I mean, that's the speed. Rose is like real, like slow and calculating, and like pop, 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 and where Joanna's like rapid.
But Rose is a surgeon, and her Rose's footwork is why she's so good, dude. She's like she's all over the place. I mean, the way that last fight went is so like because I've been a huge Rose fan forever, right?
Oh, I know. Oh, right.
And I met her and Pat the night before that fight, like where we wrapped out on FaceTime for like 30 minutes, and I was like, oh my god, I was so nervous. I was like, because I knew we were gonna hang out after the fight, and then like we were staying at the same hotel and stuff, and then like and then that happened, and she, I texted Pat, I was like, how's she doing? He's like, she's not happy.
Oh my god, that was such a horrible fight.
She should have won though. Like in my opinion, it's like, I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's debatable because of the takedowns. I mean, I don't know what is considered a takedown anymore because like I thought she got taken down like 4 times, but then Joe and John and Anik and them are like saying like there wasn't a takedown, but I was like, well, she got put down, but she got right back up.
Yeah.
So that
I don't know how they score that because there was that thing with Colby and Usman too, where Usman he's never been taken down. Then the last fight, Colby took him down, but he literally was. I mean, he was on his knees and hands for legitimately like 1 to 2 seconds, and then just popped back up. So I don't know. how to me, that's not a takedown. Like
okay.
You didn't. I mean, to me,
I don't know. Yeah, no, that's fine. I just need to know what's considered a takedown. Like, because if you knock them down, that's different. Obviously, that's for sure. You hit them, they went down. You rush them like Goldberg, take them down, but they get right back up. That doesn't count. Fair enough.
I just think like it depends on like. It's like if someone just like does like a flash like shot. And they get someone down and they hop right back up, then I don't think that's anything. I think that's almost like someone throwing a big haymaker and missing, but like, but if someone has a hold of a guy, has an underhook and then flips around to their back and they've got their arms around their back and they're like picking them up and dipping them. The other person keeps popping back up, but they're defending it from a vastly inferior position for a longer period of time. Then that I look at, I'm like, whether or not it's a takedown is irrelevant, but the guy who has the back, I'm talking without hooks in and all that. Like, they're just holding them and they're trying to take them down.
Right.
Like that to me is meaningful as it relates to scoring the fight because they've gotten themselves to a dominant position and they're trying to take them down versus just
control.
Yeah.
Having their back. Yeah, that's a huge thing. We're coming up on time here. But there was one other thing I wanted to talk about, and it was
I've got time too.
Oh, you're the best. But I have a little bit of time. We're going to go do this thing. We opened up a store in Woodland Park. If you guys are ever in Woodland Park, Colorado, come check out the SHEATH store. And they're doing like a block party type, whatever community fair thing in our center. So we're going to. Are
you guys thinking about like launching any other products like shorts or anything like that or?
We are, but we do, we obviously specialize in the underwear and that we've had, I want to make some just like hiking kind of we have board shorts. I should send you, we have just some SHEATH, like they're board shorts, but they're for jujitsu, but you could surf in them.
Oh, nice. My other business partner, so Ed Byers is one of my business partners. And then we're launching this huge NFT project like probably next week, and we just launched a like kind of a parallel cryptocurrency, which in the middle of crypto winter is up 600%. Just saying.
Ooh, yeah, crypto winter is killing me. I'm down like 30 G's and I'm not loving it.
Dude, let me see. Like I was seeing today, like I have so when Davos, when they said that you know what was going to happen with crypto, I sold it all. I mean, I've gotten paid in Ethereum, maybe, I don't know, call it 10, 12 grand since then. But I sold all of my whole, like, just because these people run the world and they're always
exactly.
Like, if they say there's going to be a pandemic, there's going to be a pandemic. If they say crypto is going to crash, crypto's going to crash. Like,
right.
But it's not going to crash forever.
Yeah.
They're fucking greedy, dude. Like
I sold when Elon said it was going to, and I avoided like a $30,000 loss because I had a Bitcoin and it went all the way. But then I ended up buying back because it was fluctuating. And now I'm kind of like I'm in too deep.
Yeah. I mean, dude, unless you need the money.
Yeah, I'm just going to hold it.
It's definitely going to go back up.
And it's mostly Bitcoin and Ethereum that I have. I have a couple other shit coins.
I have that in Challenge Coin, and that's it.
Is that your coin, the Challenge Coin?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like Rob O'Neill, you know, from SEAL Team 6.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a guy named Russ who's like really heavy into the crypto space. Kaj Larson, also a really prominent Navy SEAL. Jeff Gum, my business partner on the NFT one. Navy SEAL. Ed Byers, SEAL Team 6 Master Chief, also on the NFT one. And so like we were doing the Frogman NFT launch, which is coming up, and like it is here. I will give you. Let me show you this, just because. You know what I'll do, actually? For the very first time, I will show something publicly that no one else has seen. No one else has seen yet. So like, I'll just show you. Let me do this. Actually, I'll show you the website, and that's it. Because, but yeah, we're gonna announce very, very shortly, and like. Just all it'll take is anybody just looking at the website, and they're gonna be like, "Oh wow, this is gonna be." So this is our site. That's a boat full of bored apes.
Well,
I mean, this is obviously a much longer video that we're gonna release, but that's a rocket being propelled in the direction of a yacht full of bored apes. You know,
cool. Yeah, like the guys that did the movie theaters and GameStop.
It's a $5 billion NFT project.
Bored Apes.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. Well, I was thinking of the guys the dudes that did like the GameStop, or they were called like apes or something, I thought. But
the Bored Apes is like the most successful NFT project, and so we're the Frogmen because Navy SEALs.
Nice. I'm loving it. I will.
Challenge Coin, the website is challengecoin.io.
Beautiful. We'll put a link.
The Challenge Coin, I think. Hang on. I'm embarrassed that I don't know that off the top of my head.
Well, is it the Facebook or is it Facebook?
Exactly. Everything is moving to IO.
Okay. What is
like all the new stuff is thechallengecoin.io.
Beautiful.
That's the new hot shit right now.
Revealed here, first time. We got a debut. I like it. We got a scoop. Yeah. I like getting scoops. Damn it. Okay, so I got like 5 more minutes. We're gonna end it on another like juicy one now.
Give it to me.
Like, how about those coward cops? I wrote some stuff down.
Oh yeah.
They didn't fucking go into the active shooting thing. And I was thinking like
they killed some kids too, it looks like.
Oh my, well, I didn't know that because
or at the very least that's what the rumor is why they're not cooperating, is because they may have killed some kids. But I'm less, as crazy as it sounds, like that's an insane situation.
Yeah.
And if your intention was to go in there and save children and an accident happened in a situation where there's already been over a dozen kids murdered, I don't judge them for that. So the question, I guess, is like, what are my thoughts on them not going in?
Well, sure. Yeah. Basically.
Yeah. So I really make an effort because of everything that we talked about with the media, where, and the clickbait, all that stuff, culminate that together, combine all that together. And basically what you have is what the driving force behind all these stories is. And it's like, if they have a little notch they can grab onto that people will click on, they're going to run with it, just like I do, right? So it's like, if they've got, the police waited 90 minutes to go into the room when the children, yada, yada. That's emotional parents, emotional country. That's a big one that people will grab a hold of. Yeah. I did initially too. And I'm like, how? And then so you read the details of the story. It's like, they followed the guy in there. Like they were chasing him.
Okay.
So they were on site from the second that he starts shooting. How on earth could that happen?
Mm-hmm.
So but when you kind of look a little deeper into it, like, they took fire initially, right? Like he was shooting at them. Now, police officers carry guns around. Does that mean that they are actually prepared to take fire for the first time, to actually have bullets fired in their direction? Like, a lot of them, especially, this is like the school district police department. Like, yeah, you might carry a gun, but if you're a person who went into that profession because you're wired for combat, that's not the department that you joined, But so when I really try to dissect that 90 minutes though, okay, how long would it take you to knock off 19 defenseless people who are unarmed and not trying to fight back? 30 seconds?
Right. Yeah.
So it is possible that what happened was something happened to where they took cover. He's going bang, 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 whoever, whatever, and then they think, and he stops shooting, and they think that they're in a hostage situation or a barricaded suspect.
Okay.
Because in all honesty, I was all on board with what the fuck with these guys.
Right.
I hung out with Steve Hargett, who's my jiu-jitsu coach and world champion and an extremely experienced combat guy from the Marine Corps. And he was saying, he's like, don't listen to anything the media says. It's all bullshit. He's like, it's all bullshit. And I said, I'm like, yeah, but like, if you've got kids in there and you've got, call it 3 cops, like, yeah, one of you guys might go down, but if 3 of you guys kick that door, you're going to get that guy. He's like, bullshit. He's like, if I'm in there, you could line up 24 of them and none of them are getting me. He's like, I'll just run through all 24 of them.
Right.
That's fair, I guess. But the guy's, he's an 18-year-old kid. He's not a fucking, multi-tool, like the security, like human fucking John Wick. That's like Steve's like, he's like the real life John Wick. He's he's the number 1 pound for pound Masters 2 jiu-jitsu fighter in the world. He was a Muay Thai fighter before he did jiu-jitsu. And he's a John Wick combat guy. So it's like, okay, well, I don't think you're the best example for that situation. But nonetheless, if the fact that it was so long does actually lend itself to that, they at least believe that they were in a situation that was contained versus he's actively in there killing kids and they're just sitting there not doing anything.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Well,
but at the time, there was a little girl who was calling 911 and asking for them to come in. If I'm a cop and I know there's a child in there that's alive and she's saying, yeah, there's a bunch of kids that are already dead, I'm like laying in their blood, dude, I'm going in. But I'm not police, but I just know myself. Like there's a fucking 0% chance, 0 I don't care. Like I would just tell the chief to his face, I would be like, you're a fucking coward, dude. Like, I'm going in, who's coming with me? And I might get killed, high likelihood even. But did you
hear about the mom though that ran in and saved 2 of her kids from different classrooms? They had handcuffed this mom because she wanted to go in because nobody was doing anything. Supposedly, this is all hearsay, and they ended up handcuffing her. She was she just really resisting, like, let me in. And somebody said, let her out of the handcuffs. They let her out of the handcuffs. She runs in and she was running to a different part of the school because she hears gunshots over here. She knows her kids are in these other classes. And I hope I'm not just totally I heard this on another podcast, but she went, got one kid, brings him out. They still hadn't gone in. The cops still hadn't gone in. So, and she knew her other kid was in this other part of the school, still was hearing gunshots. She went and gets hit. Her other kid pulls him out. And my wife was like, well, why didn't she get all the other kids that were there? And I was like, well, I don't know the answer to that, but like, why is this
job?
Yeah, true. And she's worried about her kids. And come with me if you're coming, I'm out of here. I got my girl or whatever, my son, I'm deuces. You guys can follow if you want. I'm not going to stick around and find out.
Yeah.
That's kind of, I was like, wow, that's pretty heroic on her part. And
that's just sheer mom and like parental instinct. That's what I'm saying. Like if I was on site, armed or not, if my kids are in there, you are going to cuff me to something or shoot me or I'm going in. Like there's just, there's absolutely no fucking, absolutely.
Of course.
And when I say this, I'm not like, I'd fuck that guy up. If like, I'm telling you 1000%, there is
100.
Absolutely nothing that would keep me out of that school. Nothing.
100%. I know.
They'd have to shoot me.
Got two little girls
in the back, shoot me in the fucking back. I'm going to get my girls. And then like, because in every second that I was not in there, I would know they were waiting for me to come get them.
That's tough. Yeah, that's crazy, dude. That's fucking so brutal. I mean, and what the parents, I couldn't even imagine. That would just be the worst thing ever. And but I had this, I was like on like a not psychedelic trip last night, but I was just like meditating and I was like, the fucking Nazis were taking meth and shit. Like give them, and like and kamikaze pilots were flying their planes into whatever ships. Give these fucking cops meth if that's what they need to go in there.
Yeah.
That was my big idea.
Dude, I think that's a good one. They're like, how do we solve these fucking school shootings? Crystal meth, dude.
Yeah. It'll make the cops will rush in there with no fear and and they'll fix the situation. That's my
How many daughters do you have? You have
just one. Yeah. Yeah. So
imagine her at age 10.
Yeah, that's why I was
waiting for you to come get her.
Choked up. Yeah.
Like waiting for you, like that's all she's thinking is like, my dad's gonna come get me. That's because that is exactly what she'd be thinking. Like she would be thinking like, my dad's
where's my dad? Yeah. Yeah.
Well, if the cops fucking handcuff me, and she got, I would fucking kill them, dude.
Yeah.
I bet your fucking life on that. Like I would be in, there's nothing like this. I've thought about this a million times. That like, if your kid got killed like that, nothing would ever fix it. Like there's nothing you could do. But it would, like that hole in your, like I would be capable of things that I'm not capable of now, or like where because I would be so emotionally polished that it would turn me into an incredibly dangerous person. Like because I'm so fucking sad, you were like robbed of the most prized treasure you have or whatever, and you can't, and it's nothing, you can never get it back, and it would be. Think about the feeling of like when you've been if you get in like a fight. Or like you've been, or like, where if someone has physically like restrained you or like thrown you on the ground or like fought you, whatever. And like, so they accosted you, stuck a knee in your back and cuffed you in that situation. And then you couldn't go get, like, I'd fucking kill him for sure. It might not be for 5 years. Like it would end up being like the result of just like years of like it's not easy for me to let go of things like if I really like have a real problem with a person. And in that situation, it would erode at me and I would feel no better or worse about it afterwards. It's just like, it
had to be done.
An irrational like thing. Like I wouldn't feel good about it. And I don't know for sure that I would do it, but I think it's a high probability.
I think I would lose my mind and probably do something irrational like that, even though you couldn't bring her back. It's like, well,
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. You took her from me, essentially, and I'm blaming you. And so
you handcuffed me and put your knee in my back when my daughter was facing down her future murderer. She was looking for me, and I wasn't there because of you.
Yeah, it's insane. We don't there's just put that's all smoke. It's all talk. But yeah, because I don't even like saying stuff like that because it's like, so dark. But so love the girls. We're very blessed. Thank God we have our lovely girls, and we have, hopefully they raise the limit of the gun ownership to 21. I think I like your idea. I think that's the best idea I've heard, honestly. So listen out there, motherfuckers. What the fuck are you doing? Do something. Do something. Quit talking bullshit.
Children. Dude, it's a really interesting thing to end on too is do you watch JCS, criminal psychology? So it's a fantastic channel on YouTube. Let me just make sure that I'm saying that. So it's JCS, JCS criminal psychology. It has let me see how many. It has 5 million subscribers.
Wow.
But the video that says what pretending to be crazy looks like, that one is about so basically what the video or what the channel is they get very, very famous cases interrogation videos, and then they run through the interrogation and they stop and they explain the tactic. It's like written by a master interrogator. And so he's talking through the tactics, and then he's talking through what the suspect is doing and all these different behaviors. And that one, what pretending to be crazy looks like, has 62 million views. That's the Parkland shooter. So they have they have the interrogation of the Parkland guy the day that he did it, and his angle was to pretend like he was crazy and hearing voices and shit. And so the whole thing is exposing that he's faking it, and then also the showing what the interrogators' goals are and how they, kind of drive the conversation. It's fascinating, dude. I'll text it to you right after this.
Yeah, maybe I'll watch it, and then I'll do a little video on my opinion on that.
Yeah,
for some
I'm gonna actually. Well, I mean, here I can send it to you through the chat, bro. Right here.
Awesome.
It's dude, this channel. Oh my gosh, you're gonna be like, thank you for this. There are no weak links, dude. Does
your wife like it?
She does when she watches it. Yeah.
Okay. Just kidding.
It's hard to get her to watch documentaries, but every time she watches one, they're like, dude, he does Casey Anthony. He does Dahlia DiPolito. He did the Stephanie Lazarus one, the LAPD chick who got caught for murdering her ex-boyfriend's wife like 30 years ago. If you haven't heard that story, it's fucking crazy. And they got her. God. She was the head of the high-end stolen property department in LAPD. So she's like a big deal in the LAPD. And like 30 years prior, she had beaten her ex-lover's wife to death with the butt of a gun. Like brutally murdered this woman. And then they got her on DNA 30 years later, and then this is the interrogation video, and she knows all the interrogation tactics, so it's this cat and mouse thing. It's fucking
nice. I'll have to check that out. Well, I love a good recommendation. I love chatting with you. I want to keep going, but we have to end it.
Rock and roll.
Thank you so much.
I apologize for being late, man. That's very unlike me. I apologize.
It was worth the wait, and we definitely appreciate it. And I'd love to do it again. But you're getting really busy, so we'll play it by ear. Okay.
When I say busy, it just means I might forget because I'm an idiot. But I'm in, dude. Yeah.
I'm 3 months. We'll be back minimum, right around there. So because I really enjoy these, and I know my viewers do as well. Make sure you follow Jesse on Fire, Jesse on everything, Jesse and Gabriella Into the Fire. You'll figure it out.
Yeah, and then you chop that clip, like I said, and Jesse on Fire says he'd murder the police.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, no, not that one. I'm not going to do you like that. But we'll get a good clip on here and help, and maybe send it to you, and you can help.
I will.
promote. We actually got probably most of our followers on my YouTube channel from your channel. So thank you, everyone that follows. Really appreciate it. Hope you have a great weekend. Actually, it's Monday on here. So have a great week.
Thank you, sir.
And we'll see you soon.
Awesome,
Thank you,
man.
Jesse.
Thank you.
All right. Peace.